Hope everybody is doing well. Sorry for being late, but it's been a little crazy out there. So let's get started. I am going to share screen and let's get some questions answered. All right. So here is our swell Facebook group for those of you that do not know yet. We are getting ready to move over to a private platform called Circle. And so we're going to be posting more information about this. This is the crazy thing, right? We know that people are getting hacked left, right, and center. On Facebook, we had a hack. That's part of why I can't actually broadcast into this group right now. We finally have control back of our account, but it is just really not fun. So I don't know why we can't do it, but here we go. So we had a fantastic webinar last night where I explained a little bit more about how to launch your career as a health coach. If you want more information about that, please reach out to Hannah in the comments below and she'll get you over to look at that. We have a special opportunity running through the 7th of September, so go check that out. And Lolly is feeding her 16-year-old the kidney diet, but using salmon for his protein. And yes, you do still have to add iodine because it still is not quite enough. So do follow the recipe so that things stay out of control, or stay under control, I should say. Sabine, a tiny bit of aluminum foil should be okay, and especially if you are have a Labrador. Now, this is a different thing if it's a dog, but often what we'll suggest doing is to feed very big fibrous vegetables like turnips, boiled potatoes, things like that, so that you can help your pet pass that through the GI tract. Tiny bits of foil, like no bigger than 1/4 inch, something like that, that's too big a deal. So you can usually get away with small amounts. And so by 1/4 inch, I mean no bigger than your thumbnail. Often that will pass through the GI tract without an issue. Here. And yeah, Donna, we've got a recording we'll have up probably by the afternoon. And one of our newer graduates, Laura Mozal, who just has done amazing work so far, and I think is going to really make a massive difference for pet parents. And Mariah, let's see. Incontinence. So what I would tell you is that this freeze-dried food can actually make things a bit worse. And honestly, if your vet, I would, in terms of diet, what I would suggest is home-cooked food, because if you have normal moisture in the food, it makes it easier for the urinary tract to keep things balanced. We had so many pets that once they switched to the original crock pet diet, they were able to actually stop using Pro-N. And then the other thing I would suggest is that if your vet is willing to do testosterone injections for you, I would by all means go for it. So there's a great deal of evidence showing that early spaying and neutering is actually what may be the cause of many chronic health conditions. And so by giving, what happens is there is a gonadotropin releasing hormone, or GnRH, that is produced in excess quantities because there's no feedback loop to shut off the production of it. And when we give testosterone, or if we give things like estrogen for female dogs with incontinence, we shut that loop off. And the reason this is important is that when there's too much GnRH, way too much luteinizing hormone is released, and then that's what's associated with developing luteinizing hormone receptors on many tissues that should not have them. And so this has been a real interesting learning lesson for all of us, but I think testosterone injections are a great idea. And Bettina, fantastic to see you. And Allison, Bettina's a longtime supporter for the crock-pot diet, and Allison, this is absolutely a great place to ask questions. So I'm going to keep rolling through. Sorry, I can't quite see the Facebook page when I'm and the comments here, so I have to kind of jump back and forth between the pages. So pop your question in. I'm going to see if I can get a little smarter about this. We'll cut this page back on so you can see what I'm looking at. And yeah, Sandra, the fleas have in places that normally weren't a problem. So there's a couple of options. One is you want to do really great environmental control of fleas so that you are killing the flea eggs and larvae. If you go to my website at drruthroberts.com and search, actually go to blogs.dr. Just search for fleas. You'll see several blogs where we talk about alternative methods. So there's a couple of things you can do. If you're having a really massive problem, I would suggest using a dose of Capstar to get the fleas knocked off. You can use fleabusters.com product, both the carpeting, if you have carpeting in the house and furniture, and then larvae that will kill the eggs and larvae outside around the house. So even though your kitties are indoor, that's often how the fleas come in, is on you or your pups. And then the other options are things like Zero Bug Zone. If you have, so I think if you've already tried Wondercide and that kind of stuff, I think you may have to resort to at least Capstar to get some fleas knocked down, and then start using Wondercide and other products for repellency. Zero Bug Zone tags are awesome. There are amber collars available. So if you, again, go over to drruthroberts.com and look for amber collars, these are naturally flea repellent. So that's a great option. And yeah, Maggie's got some great information. And then home pain management. Yeah, Pets Pimp is awesome. I've been testing the products from this company for about 6 to 8 weeks. I am really, really happy with what I'm seeing. CC loops are another great option, but you're going to frankly see it on our website. I'm so much happier with it. And then CBD Dog Health is a great idea as well. I'll put you a link here. So you want to look for the Ease product. Actually, I think this link is not so great. And I can't type. So Ease. Try that. That should actually work. There's a myriad of options. And so again, this is where a pet health coach, a holistic coach can really help you get some other ideas going there too. Bunch of new members, which is so much fun. Crazy, amazing. And let's see, I think that may be it. We've got a Labor Day sale coming up. Got some amazing videos. Yashira, wow, that's so young to have ulcers. So you're sure not sure where you are located, but this is where a holistic pet health coach can be super helpful. One of the other things is you can use this test to look at um, what kind of sensitivities your pup may be having. So Allison, good. Glad you got some questions up. Um, and so it's already got some significant amount of damage to the heart and lungs. So do you know this because of the x-rays or coughing or heart murmur or what exactly? So there's a couple of things you could look at. One is doing everything you can to support the heart. And so that would include things like, um, and detoxing from the worsen. So one of the things I would suggest would be, omega-3 fatty acids. Um, there is HWF, which may help kind of clear heartworm as well. And then also there's a hawthorn extract that's available on the site that's been very effective for supporting heart disease. Um, and I'm assuming that they're going to use some prednisone during the treatment. And I hate saying this, but it really does help when they're already quite ill. And then the other thing I would suggest is sorry, had a little blank. Uh, Seroflazine can help reduce the inflammation. If you need help sourcing that, just reach out to my staff and they can help you with that. But it's an enzymatic thing that helps to break down inflammation. You can give this away from food because otherwise it will just sort of digest what he's eating. And then the other bits and pieces, do an anti-inflammatory diet. Make sure that the symptoms are really well controlled before you start the melarsoline. And then this is where I think prednisone and doxycycline are helpful because the doxycycline will kill the parasite inside of the heartworm. This will make the heartworm less resilient and make it easier to die from the medication. And then the prednisone will help control the inflammatory reaction as the heartworms die off. And this really can become quite problematic. Cool. Let's pop back over here and take a look at a few more um, questions, and which seems to have disappeared. Wow. Sorry, y'all, I had a little brain lapse. Pop this back over for a second. Cool, and you're welcome, Allison. I'm glad the pred is on board. So what I would do as far as what to do to detox is I would get through that process and use things like sorry about that. Use things like Polypet's fulvic acid, humic acid to help absorb and adsorb some of those byproducts. Sorry, y'all. Oh, okay. This is why I can't find it. Holy smokes. Some of those byproducts from the drug itself. And then, frankly, what I would suggest is just going super, super easy and there we are. Using things that are going to help reduce inflammation as much as possible. So, omega-3 fatty acids, and then ultimately support the liver. That's going to be super critical in terms of getting rid of all of the drugs and all of this stuff. So, liposomal glutathione. It's going to be critical, as well as milk thistle, which is super simple. And Bettina, good to see you. Hope to see you back soon. So let's pop back over here. And let's see if we get that answered. I think we got most of these covered. There was one more right up at the top. I'll just make sure. While that's loading up. Any other questions out there? We've got 8 of you folks on. Happy to answer as best I can any questions that you might have. And good, we got that going. All right, cool. I think that's all the questions we've got. So again, y'all, you're very welcome, Alice. So when you're in the group, what I'd really appreciate, and Chris is going to start a chain of comments, but what are the features you'd love to see in an online community? What would be most helpful to you? So if you could write those down for me, I'd super appreciate it. Again, we'll be back over on a weekly basis, both here in the group, hopefully soon, and also as we start to move over to our new community, we'll invite you over there, completely free, all sorts of good stuff there. And we'll have more of the coaches on board with the following broadcasts. That's all I got for today. Take good care. I'm Dr. Ruth Roberts, the original